Hello, today I'm going to show you how to use Matlab in Browser to solve a matrix equation. So first, just go to Google search and type in Matlab Online. And then just click on Matlab Online. And then you just kind of keep clicking the buttons, open Matlab Online. And so you should sign in with your unit email. So here, you put your ID number and then your at utah.edu. Push next, and then it should send you into the login portal for the U. And so just log in with your normal password. And at this point, if it's your first time logging in, they're going to ask you for your name and what institution and stuff you're from. Most of that is autofilled, and you just fill out the last couple of questions and say you're in electrical and computer engineering and push next. And then when you get to this page, there should be an open MATLAB button somewhere. Mine says welcome back, so yours might look a little different. But again, look for that button. Look for the button. Here's open MATLAB Online. And it should load. Okay, so there's a lot going on in this window, and I wouldn't worry too much about all this around the outside. We're just using this command window in the middle today. And so I will show you first how to enter a matrix. So, for example, I use brackets to create the matrix. Then I put numbers into it. So maybe my upper left number is 10. The next number in the row is 5. And so I put a comma for the next number in the row. Then to get to the next row, I put a semicolon. And then maybe the lower left entry of this 2 by 2 matrix is 0 and 2. And the matrix like that. And then when I push enter, it should create the right structure on the screen, so you know you got the right dimensions for your matrix. And in this case, let's say, now how do I call it again, right? I didn't actually set it equal to a variable, so you probably want to give it a variable name. So if you forget or screw up a number, you can just push your up arrow, and that will bring up the previous thing you typed. And you can actually see what I typed yesterday when I was making another version of this video. Okay, so then I can go and I can add A equals if I wanted, and I just tapped left once I had up-clicked to the old thing above, and so that way I didn't have to retype everything again. That can be nice. So there we go. Now I got A set to that. And then your constants on the right side of the equation matrix was B normally, so I'll call this B, and I'll put a couple numbers in there. Maybe they will both be equal to, I don't know, we'll make it 1, and then 5, and remember that was a matrix that had 2 rows, 1 column, so we just have a semicolon in there. And then when I push enter, it does make it the right dimensions. Great. And so there are a couple ways, right? We were doing X, the solution is the inverse of A times B. So I can do that as A to the -1, the inverse, times B. And case matters here. If you use a capital B, it's going to give you an error back. And there we go. It gave you the numbers. I can alternatively also type A \B. And then notice it gave me the same numbers. So that's kind of a little intro into how to use MATLAB to solve matrix equations. And we are doing that on our worksheet today. So try and go do that now.